this video, I'm just going to show you how you can quickly find the relative either major scale or minor scale depending where you're starting. If you're starting in a major scale, I can then show you how to find your relative minor scale. And if you're starting in a minor scale and playing in a minor key, I can show you how to find your relative major scale, which means that whilst you're improvising, you can technically use both of those scales at exactly the same time, which is actually going to help you to move across the fretboard a lot more easier and a lot more quicker. This is where things start to get interesting and a little bit more fun. We're going to open up the fretboard for you a little bit more on the guitar and talk about relative scales, relative, major and minor. If you want to learn more about the theoretical side of relative scales, check out our Music Theory Foundations course where all of that is covered. But essentially, every major scale has a relative minor scale and every minor scale has a relative major scale. And all that means is that they share exactly the same musical notes, they just have a different starting point. Finding the relative scale is actually really easy on the guitar. Let's start in a major key, for example C major, which is the 8th fret of the low E string. That's our C root note, and we're going to play the major scale shape starting there. Our root note there, C, was on the 8th fret of the guitar on the low E string. To find our relative minor of that major scale, all we need to do is move down 3 frets on the guitar. So if we are at C, which is the 8th fret, if we move down 3 frets, that takes us to the 5th fret of the guitar, which is an A note. So that means A natural minor, A minor, is the relative minor of C major. And it's that simple. So C major shares exactly the same notes as A minor. The only difference being the starting point. C major obviously starts at C and A minor obviously starts at A, but they share all the same musical notes. Just to recap, if you're playing in a major scale in a major key and you want to find your relative minor scale and minor key, all you need to do is move down 3 frets from your starting point, your starting root note of the major key. Down 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, and that will take you to your relative minor. And that also works in reverse if you're playing in a minor key using a minor scale and you want to find your relative major, just move up 3 frets on the guitar. And it's that simple. Have a practice at that, play a major scale and then try and find its relative minor by moving down 3 frets, and then play a minor scale and then try and find its relative major scale by moving up 3 frets, and try and do it in different places on the fretboard rather than just in the same place. Once you feel confident with that, move on to the next video where there's going to be a backing track in the key of A minor. So you can use the A minor scale to play along and improvise your own melodies, but I also want you to use the relative major, which is C major. A minor is at the 5th fret of the guitar, so you need to move up 3 frets to find your relative major of C major. So 3 frets obviously change the shape from the minor scale to the major scale, and that will really help you improvise using 2 different scales over one backing track in the same key.